What's going on, everybody? Back with another episode of All Gear No Game. First of all,
late night edition.
Yeah, it's what
Usually
is it?
we do this early in the day and it's like 9 something.
Yeah, so the camera quality probably won't be that good. But anyways, I wanted to do, because BComp, she gonna be bye-bye.
Yeah, I thought last week's episode was my last one, but we're being strategic right now because I'm gonna be gone for a week in Hawaii, so we're pre-filming.
Yeah, and usually now there's not a ton of dropouts because of COVID, even though there were a couple that got added onto this upcoming card. There hasn't been too many situations, so that's not gonna be a worry like it was earlier in our lives during the whole entire COVID break, when it seemed like
everyone
we had a card and then at least
4
or 5 fights.
Yeah, someone
like started with 15 or 16, then there was like 11
or
something. But anyways, got our toes done for the very first time.
Oh my god, I can show them.
Can you actually? How did you get it up there? She got orange.
I got orange for the Giants. And also,
not for is it hot in here?
I'm
dude.
sweating.
It is so hot in here.
We're like sweating.
Wow.
Well, orange I just think is very in right now. It goes with a lot of things, and it's a bright neon color. I'm gonna be in Hawaii. It's like tropical, so that is my reasoning. Kellan picked it out too.
Mm-hmm. Mostly just because it reminded me of, she has a special swimsuit that she wears. It's orange.
He's not a fan of it.
Well, we just had a bad experience there one time
when I was wearing it. So he associates bad experience with my swimsuit, which does not go together, but that is how his brain works.
It's not the swimsuit or anything. The swimsuit looks great on her.
Oh.
It was just
the
whole
does
thing.
It? Yeah. Okay. Next subject.
But getting my toes done, my toes are basically beautiful anyway. So
literally they like barely
even cut or did anything. They did a little bit of cuticle, did a little of that pumice stone, and then she just like massaged my legs for
yeah, at least you got a longer massage, because I was getting a painting done. I was getting painted.
He was going to work on the nails.
I thought that,
imagine if you did.
I thought for sure that you would be able to get they would still give you like a clear coat or like clear polish.
No.
Is that not a thing? I thought that would have been a thing.
It is a thing.
Maybe next time we go, we'll have to pick out a clear coat for you.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I'm not down for the clear coat. Guys.
So ladies out there, convince your boyfriend to go get his toes done with you.
It's really worth it. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was so tickly. I was worried it was going to be tickly. But
same. We were looking at each other. I'm like laughing. And the people that were doing it, they're like, what? What are you laughing at? And he's like, oh, she's ticklish.
Yeah. I'm really ticklish, so I'm really surprised that I didn't laugh more. Anyways, the fights this weekend, they're pretty freaking fire. I mean, top to bottom, I know I say this about almost every card out there, but this one, I rewatched the prelims when I got home from doing the foot stuff with Bianca. That sounds weird. After getting like the pedicure with Bianca, we came home and watched all the prelims. They were so easy to watch because most of them were like first or second round finishes, like the Mickey Gall, the Sajara Eubanks, and even the Punahele Soriano versus Brendan Allen. That fight was crazy, and it was action packed the whole entire 15 minutes. But I just want to go through that card a little bit, get my thoughts. And I was going through the bantamweight rankings today, and I mean, just the whole entire bantamweight, like you can play matchmaker with so many. I'll talk about this right now before we get into the fights. The whole entire bantamweight division is so, I mean, I talk about it almost every podcast. It is so stacked. We know this. I won't get into that anymore. But the bantamweight division is confusing in multiple aspects. One, in a way that there's so many different matchups and different styles. So like in the Randy Costa versus Adrian Yanez fight, Adrian Yanez, he's so good and everything, but we saw a guy like Randy Costa who's longer kind of give him problems. So it's really interesting. The matchups are the body types and the frames are so vastly different in the bantamweight division that it makes for just unpredictability.
Yeah.
Because there's some guys, we saw it with Corey Sandhagen, even though Corey Sandhagen is kind of an anomaly. We saw it with TJ Dillashaw, where TJ really struggled to get him to the ground unless Corey Sandhagen did something sporadic or a spinning move to get him to the ground. Like that's TJ, even though TJ did really good on the feet and stuff, Corey was definitely more sharp landing the bigger shots, and you could tell that TJ couldn't do much to control Corey, and that's a lot of what like TJ wants to control you. He wants to get you on the ground, or because he couldn't do anything when he had him up against the fence. Corey got out of it. when Corey was on the ground, Corey got up at will. Like, yeah, it just, the whole bantamweight division is super confusing because if you match one really good guy up with another good guy, if there's the body frames, it just makes for really tough fights. Because Randy Costa, that fight, I predicted, I never got a post out because I wanted to talk about how I want to start doing for each episode. I want to start talking about how I want to have like a fight of the night prediction, a performer of the night, and then like the main event pick. And I was going to pick Adrian Yanez versus Randy Costa. I just want to get that out there. I thought that was going to be fight of the night, even though the main event ended up being fight of the night, and honestly almost even a fight of the year candidate, wouldn't you say?
Sorry.
Yeah, it was a pretty good fight back and forth. You watched the whole entire main event.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was. But, like, I think there's a clear winner, you know?
Interesting, yeah. What did you think it was? Did you think it was 2-2 going into the fifth round?
I thought it was 2-2, but I thought the fifth round definitely went to Corey.
You were confused when all the announcers were saying that the first round went to TJ.
Yeah.
Because I think DC, they thought that the first round went to...
Yeah, DC was saying, like, first round was definitely TJ's. I was like,
but how
all he was doing was holding his back. Like, he didn't have him on the ground. He didn't do anything but hold him.
I agree.
Like, I don't think that should count. But I guess in, like, the judge's eyes, sometimes that does count as a point.
Right. I mean, I was really impressed with TJ, though. He pushed the pace the entire time. There was no feeling out process whatsoever.
I was pretty
They
impressed.
just got right into their face, and he did not care. Like, he faced adversity big time early. Like, apparently his camp was pretty rough, and then his knee, I think it was his left knee, it was obviously unstable. Like, he couldn't, there was that one portion, I forget, was it the first round when he got hurt, and then that upcoming round next, he tried to do like a fast like twitch movement, and you could tell that it wasn't super stable. And then obviously his cut from his camp got busted open with a huge shot from Corey. So I thought TJ did a really good job. Like, he pushed the...
Yeah, it was definitely a good first fight back.
The entire time. No, it was action-packed. In my opinion, there was big shots the entire...
The fact that it went all 5 rounds is crazy.
I kind of expected that a little bit.
Really?
I honestly... Dude, some of those rounds were so close, though. I just feel really bad for Corey, but obviously he got this little pinky promise from Sean Shelby saying that he'll be one more fight away from the title. And I think that that's definitely fair, given the fact that this fight could have went either way. I mean, I was surprised to actually look in the comment sections of some of the Instagram posts and just kind of social media surrounding this fight. I was surprised to see how many people were okay with the TJ Dillashaw decision. Because, man, if you think about it, Corey, like you said, he landed the cleaner shots, never was really in trouble. There might have been a few combinations that had Corey moving backwards where he got caught, but nothing even happened really on the ground where you could cleanly say that Corey lost. Like, I mean, like, obviously he lost some rounds, but they were so close. And I don't know, in my opinion, that the Corey rounds were more definitive than the TJ rounds. I don't know. But overall, TJ looks so good for not fighting, and like, ring rust is not a factor for him at all. And Corey, I thought he almost was going to pull off another Frankie Edgar knee, because that almost hit TJ pretty square in the jaw, which was pretty reminiscent of the Frankie Edgar knockout. But TJ absorbed every strike. Like I keep saying, he kept moving forward, and that made for a fantastic fight. Speaking of coming forward, or just an absolute gritty fight, I watched that Brendan Allen fight versus Punahele Soriano. Punahele has got to be one of the toughest guys in the middleweight division. Oh, yeah. And then also Brendan Allen has to be one of the toughest guys, because he ate about 6 or 7 knockout blows from Puna, and he ate him clean on the chin. There was one in about, I think it was the 3rd round, where Puna just hit him clean square in the jaw. You could see his snot rocket fly out of Brendan's face, or out of his mouth or whatever, and he took it and then came back right away. Because you know how you can sometimes see in the slow-mo, some people lose it for a second. They're like, oh, I'm gone, I'm kind of wobbly. He got clipped on the jaw, chin moved, just like snap. He gets right back. His neck, he just aligns right back, focuses right back in on Puna. I'm like, how is that even physically possible? I mean, that must be so demoralizing in a way for Puna, because he's used to just knocking people out cold. So yeah, Brendan's an absolute monster, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in this upcoming fight night, because he wants that rematch against Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland, he pieced up Brendan Allen for sure, but it was at a catchweight, and who knows? That definitely can play a bigger factor in the fight. But I'm just, it's kind of a little bit concerning considering how much Brendan gets popped, and with the power of Sean and his like just straight jab, it just beat him to the punch. Like, no pun intended every time. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And then, so just to go through some of the fights, like this honestly could, when I look back, like doing like a review episode, this is probably going to be one of the cards of the year. And Dillashaw versus Sandhagen is definitely one of the fights of the year, in my opinion, because just the constant back and forth. But the Sijara Eubanks, she looks so good. I think she bounced back from a loss, and she came back down to flyweight, I want to say, and she, Elise Reed, she had nothing for Sijara. Sijara got on top of her and ground and pounded and finally got that dub. And then Julio Arce, I was pleasantly surprised. Like, Andre Ewell is absolutely no slouch. He's so tricky on the feet, and he does weird angles. He throws shots from weird angles, and he's just really tough and throws absolute heat seekers. But Arce, from the angle I was watching the TV, he looked like a lot like Rafael dos Anjos. So he's so good, and his kicks are insane, and just the way that he kind of put together combinations after, because Andre would throw like one punch, and then he would just like try to piece him up after, because Andre always has usually the length, like the reach advantage on people. So Arce looks so good. I was surprised. He's really underrated. People kept tweeting that in on the little broadcast. They're like, this guy, really underrated. Not enough people know about this guy. And I think he was at 145. He has a win over Dan Ige or something, and now he's at 135 just to add on to the absolutely stacked bantamweight division.
Dang. Good for him, though.
He's a stud. Yeah. I mean, I was looking through the top on Tapology and a different website. I was looking through like the top 50 to like 100, and I'm like, yeah, no, that guy is like, no, all of these guys. Yeah, you know, it's crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's freaking insane. And then Mickey Gall, I was pumped to see him get back in the win column, because it's been kind of tough sledding. He's had to fight some good guys like Mike Perry and even like Diego Sanchez, but it was good to see him get that dub over Jordan Williams. You didn't really get to see much of Jordan Williams because I mean, Jordan Williams is good, but you didn't get to see much of it because Mickey cracked him early, and I think he was just trying to collect himself the entire time. But Mickey kind of just he looked really good on the feet, and then eventually sunk in that choke, and it was not a long fight at all. But I was pumped to see him get a dub because he's a grinder. He's been in the UFC for a minute, and yeah, you just want to see a guy like that succeed because you can tell he's been working super duper hard. Because he's been in the UFC for a fat second, and he was so young when he came in, and now he's 29. So hopefully he gets into a groove and gets into his prime, because he can just be another really good addition to the welterweight division, because it's another division that, if you're good at grappling, that's good. Yeah. Because that's one of the scariest divisions to be in. If you're not a good grappler, like, good thing Vicente Luque's got good takedown defense, because he's probably the best striker in that division. That's what that's the path to victory for sure.
Exactly.
The Michael Chiesa versus Vicente Luque fight is going to be freaking unreal. It's going to be because I was going to mention that a little bit, that the Vicente Luque versus Michael Chiesa, I mean, who's next? We've seen the same guys kind of fluctuate throughout the entire welterweight division. It's like Jorge Masvidal, Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, Gilbert Burns, and Tyron Woodley. We need to get somebody new in there. And Michael Chiesa, he's a stud. And then Vicente Luque, obviously, he can hang with him. And he's Gilbert's teammate, so he can, like, low-key, they can put like the story around that he can avenge one of his teammates' losses. You know what I mean? But cute. Beating what's his face, Kamaru, is gonna be new easy to ask for money. For sure. So Mickey Gall did really good. And then Nasruddin Imavov, his only kind of slip up was to Phil Hawes, but everybody slips up to Phil Hawes because he's, like I say every podcast, he's an absolute Mack truck. So Nasruddin, he looked really good on the feet though. And Ian Heinisch is an absolute stud. He landed some good shots on Nasruddin, but Nasruddin has a chin. We saw so many guys with good chins on this card. Dude. Some guys got hit clean. Like most, like, probably 99.99999% of the population is going to be in a hospital bed after a shot like that. And some of these guys take it. I don't understand how you train for that.
You don't. Like, you can't.
Well, I was listening to a podcast like Michael Bisping training, sparring with his son, and he was popping his son in the face because he's like, he needs to learn how to get, like, punched in the face. But it's like, oh my God, how do you train for that?
He needs to learn.
Dude, it is freaking warm. It's a warm day.
Yeah, I know. I'm hot.
I'm really happy that they had
And I've got some drama to tell you after this. So
bad drama.
Yeah.
With who?
My dad.
Oh,
My family. Yup.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Bro, I was listening to like Bobby Lee and Tom Segura on a podcast. Some of the stuff they talk about
their family issues
like
and stuff.
Cancel culture, bro.
Yeah.
Like, how is that not a thing? Like, it's so funny. Like, they could talk about anything
because they're comedians, so I feel like they get away with a lot.
Yeah, it's so great. I love it so much. Some of these things that they say is just a wow.
You're like,
how is this?
It's good entertainment for me,
not
but
viral?
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? It's awesome.
Some of it is viral.
It gives
I see
me
a lot
confidence.
of it.
It gives me confidence
In what you say.
Yeah, because I'm like, if I say something controversial,
yeah, no, not compared to them.
No, it's literally just about a fight.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about somebody's literal race.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like they do. Like it's crazy. But
are we talking about the next upcoming fights now?
One sec. Yeah, we will. Nasruddin Imavov, Ian Heinisch. Nasruddin looks so good on the feet. Okay, moving on. Oh, okay, that was next. The next one was the Brendan Allen fight versus Puna. That was a fantastic fight. Adrian Yanez versus Randy Costa. I picked that to be freaking fight of the night, and it was for as long as it lasted. Adrian Yanez, he absolutely flipped that switch in the second round and just started cracking Randy. He hit him with a body shot that dropped him, and then he like split the guard with an uppercut or something. But Randy looked really good. He looked so good against Jordan Newsom. He's gonna be back. His frame is phenomenal for the bantamweight division. The Macy Barber versus Miranda Maverick, that was a tough one. There's a couple decisions on here where it was like, oh god, I don't know if the judges got it right here, but I thought Miranda Maverick definitely was 2-0, but it was like all the rounds were super competitive, and Macy Barber, it's nice to see her get back in the win column. Like, I'm not super mad at it, but you can definitely make the case that Miranda won the first 2 rounds. But Macy's she was really good on the feet. She cracked Miranda a few times, but Miranda, she's a super good fighter. Both of these girls they're on the come up for sure. They're going to be the future. Like, of women's fighting for sure. And then Darren Elkins, what more can you say? He weathered that early storm with Derek Minner. Derek Minner is still young, like gonna be he's still in his prime for sure. But Darren Elkins, it's so fun to see him like just weather the storm, take all the damage, and then just take the dub. That's what he did against Eduardo Garagori, and that's what he did against Derek Minner. I can't wait to see who they match him up with next. I'm going to see him take a little bit of a break, let that skin, like he said in his post-fight press conference, his skin's like paper. It cuts super duper easily. So we need that to freaking heal up. But I really like watching him fight. He's so much fun. I don't know what you would have to hit that guy. I don't even know what you have to hit him with to take him out, because he's an absolute savage. And now getting to the co-main, Kyler Phillips, one of the most exciting fighters. He did not, in that first round, I have to apologize. I got to give it to Hallian. Give it up to Hallian Paiva. He did so well. He was so tough. Again, that Zhalgas Zhumagulov fight, I was a little salty. That's why I kind of gave him kind of not the most love, because I thought Zhalgas did really well in that fight, and the judges seemed to just blow that aside and give the fight to Hallian. But Hallian did really well. I guess that weight cut, his frame is actually really good for bantamweight. He's really long. He was a huge 125er, but he took some absolute knockout blows, and his chin was iron. And probably if you give it about 30 more seconds, he probably would have been out of it in the first round. But because I would have, if there was any fight that I would bet my livelihood on, I was going to say that Kyler Phillips would win this fight. And you know what? I think he did, because that first round was easily a 10-8, because he got absolutely dismantled. He got wobbled like 3 times. He got dropped like twice, I want to say, or something like that, dude. Like it maybe not twice, but he got absolutely cracked. And Kyler's so much fun, but he was like, I just don't understand. This goes back to the Timur Vallia versus Raoni Barcelos fight. It's like, how can you give the other guy a fight when, like, it's like kind of hard to explain. I mean, I don't know how to word this right. If Kyler Phillips knocks you down, and then Hallian Paiva never does that to you, how can you give a fight to the other guy? I don't know. It's like hard to explain. I guess that's not the whole entire fight. Like, you have to look into other stuff, but because Hallian did get his shots in, I don't know. But all I know is Kyler absolutely balled out regardless of what the judge's decision was. And Hallian, kudos to him. Got a 3-fight win streak now or whatever it is. I think it's 3-fight win streak, something like that. Because he beat Mark De La Rosa and then Zalgas, and then he got that dub off Kyler, which is an absolutely massive dub. But I think if you fight Kyler Phillips 9 times out of 10, I don't think that fight's going to go very well for Hallian. Yeah. And it didn't. And then the main event, we already kind of talked about this a lot. My opinion, I think Corey won. And I was
100%.
Yeah, and I was pumped to see TJ look so good, but yeah, that's that. It was just an insane card top to bottom. Like, I'm not just saying that at all.
No, it was. I was very shocked.
Yeah. Even
from what I saw, and I didn't even see the whole card, and it was good.
But you just basically saw the main event, and that was all you really needed to see.
Exactly.
For sure. Okay, now on to the Sean Strickland card, dude. Like, it's an absolute sleeper card. You're not going to get to see a lot of big names here. You're going to see, like Brian Barberena, like, that's a scrapper. You're going to see, like, Chris Gruetzemacher, Ultimate Fighter. He's a stud. Danny Chavez versus Kai Kamaka. Like, you're going to see some guys on here that you have no idea who they are, but I'm going to try my best to fill you in and tell you guys, like, why you should tune in. So, to start off, Zaruka Dalshev. I mean, he's a really good striker. He's going to be fighting Ryan Benoit, Ryan Benoit hasn't fought since he lost to Tim Elliott. And Zaruka Dalshev, he's a really good striker. Like, he's a kickboxing champ. He lost to the first time I watched him fight, he fought Tyson Nam, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Tyson Nam, and then he lost to Sumu Darji. And if you look at those matchups, like, he's lost his first 2 fights in the UFC, but Sumu Darji, his left hand is from absolute hell. And his Tyson Nam was a pretty bad, like, stylistic matchup for him. But that Tyson Nam fight, I believe, that was at, like, 135 or something. And that was what they weighed in at. And now when he moved down to fight Sumu Darji at 125, his frame looked a lot better. Like, he was more cut up. And so I'm really looking forward to this fight. I think that Saru can get this job done. I mean, he's a really good striker, but Ryan Benoit, he looked actually pretty good. Like, he had some good moments against Tim Elliott, and Tim Elliott's a tough out every single time. And then in the next fight, I'm not going to talk about all of them just for the sake of time, but Orion Kosuke, or how, dude, I feel so bad. How do you even say that name?
Let me see.
Orion Kosei? Kosei? I don't know. But he's going to be fighting Phil Rowe. And Phil Rowe, he's like, I think this is actually Orion. He was a Dana White Contender Series guy, and this is going to be his UFC debut. And it's going to be a tough battle, because Philip Rowe, for being a 170 pounder, I think he's like 6'3". Like, he's super long, dude. Yeah, he's 6'3". He has an 80-inch reach span. Like, dang. reach span.
80 reach span. It's been a long day.
He's so good. I mean, he fought Gabe Green in his UFC debut, I think. Yeah, he was in the Dana White Contender Series, but he's so good. Like, he can crack you. He can stay on the outside, and he's super long to watch. And it's just really fun watching some of these guys that look like they don't belong in a certain weight class fight. Like, it's super dope to see. So I really watch out for Philip Rowe here, because he looks like an anomaly. He's like a Neil Magny type body, and so he's really fun to watch. And then Trevin Jones fighting Ronnie Lawrence. I think both of their fights like fell out or something, so they're fighting each other now. And so Trevin Jones, he had an absolutely baller knockout against Mario Bautista, who's an absolute savage. So I'm honestly looking for Trevin Jones to get this dub, just given the fact. Where is he from again? I think he's from. Oh yeah, he's fighting out of Guam. That's right. Yeah, that's cool. He looked really good. Mario Bautista is he's so good. He's another really good bantamweight. And Ronnie Lawrence, he's good. I mean, I haven't really watched him a whole bunch, but I did watch his Vince Cachero fight, so I don't really know. I just am really looking forward to the Trevin Jones, because he shaved. I did.
It looks so good. I just realized.
The freaking hair that was in the sink or whatever, it looks so long. It was crazy.
Probably shaved a ton off, actually.
I didn't realize how long they were.
I know. I just saw some in your ear.
I know. I was getting on my nerves. I was like, because I can't grow hair. I was going to say this. I need like right here, I can't grow hair at all, so I need to get Roman.
Rogaine.
Yeah, I know. But you know that Get Roman? You know those like commercials?
Oh,
like the ED and like the hair growth. Yeah. I need to be sponsored by those guys, because I need to fill in my beard.
Literally just right there too. He like has a bald patch, and it's so funny. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah, I need to get sponsored by somebody who can grow hair here for me. I need a hair transplant. You just got to take a little bit of hair off my head and put it. No, that wouldn't even work. That would not even work.
That would be weird hair then.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Ashley over Jinyu Fry. I'm going with Jinyu Fry here because she looked really good. And I think it was her last time out. Yeah. Versus Gloria De Paula. She looked really good. And Ashley Yoder, she's good too, but I don't know. I like Jinyu here. But now getting on to for this card, I'm doing like fight of the night, performance of the night, and like main event pick. And for this one, this upcoming fight, Danny Chavez versus Kai Kamaka, this is easily going to be my fight of the night because Danny Chavez,
really,
in his last fight out, it was against I don't remember who it was. Jared Gordon
he
or
looks
something.
like a badass.
Jared Gordon. Yeah, Danny Chavez. He throws bombs. Like he comes at you and he throws the matchmakers knew exactly what they were doing with this because he's literally, his nickname is the Colombian Warrior, and that's how I would describe his fighting style because he kind of gasses out a little bit because he throws so much heat, but they match him up with the perfect guy, Kai Kamaka, who had a like fight of the night win against Tony Kelly, and then his last time out versus TJ Downtown Brown, he lost a split decision and it was flame. So like both of these guys throw absolute bombs, so you absolutely have to tune in for this. Kai Kamaka is so good. Like both of these guys at 145, they're studs. Like they're at different points in their career. Danny Chavez, he's like mid-30s, and Kai Kamaka is younger. He's like in his mid-20s. So it's going to be a really good fight. I honestly thought that Kai could have got the dub against TJ Brown his last time out. And I think he's taking this fight on shorter notice because I think Danny Chavez his fight fell through. But this is going to be one of the better fights on the card, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
That's sick.
Yes.
You have to send me videos of it.
I will.
Like
Yeah, and I have one more after we're done talking about this. One sick thing that we have to react to. Like, it's so dope. And then Chris Gruetzemacher versus Rafa Garcia. Rafa, I think he made his UFC debut on against Nasrat Hakparas. So thanks UFC for fucking me over. You know, like that's so hard. Like that's such a good fighter to have your UFC debut against. So he's getting a fight against Chris Gruetzemacher, who lost to Alexander Hernandez. And his last time out, he's like,
are these the prelims?
Yeah, these are some really good. Chris Gruetzemacher, he's a stud. So that's going to be another absolute banger of a fight. And then kind of skipping through a little bit, like Munir Lazez is a really good fight. His one fight with Abdul Razak Al Hassan, he has a chin of steel. Like Wu Yanan is really good. But this is what I was going to say. This card is a little bit of a learning card for me. Like I'm going to have to.
It's not really, a lot of people you know very well.
Well, I know a few of them, but there are some guys like as such that I'm not super duper familiar with. So it's going to be cool to put them into the
put faces to names and watch them.
Exactly. But Munir Lazez looks good. But then my performance of the night, I'm going with Brian Barberena because he's like an absolute stud. He's fought some of the best in the 170-pound division.
He looks like a beast.
Yeah, he's fought like Colby Covington, Vicente Luque, and Leon Edwards. Like those are the best. And Randy Rubai Brown, and then
he's lost to them.
Yeah, but that still
like.
Those are the studs. Yeah, those are the studs of the division. And then he beat Anthony Akman in his last time out. So
sick.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to, and he's fighting who oh yeah, Jason Witt. Jason Witt is good, but he got his last time out was kind of tough. I think Matt Semmelsberger, I watched this at Frosty's house. He cracked him with the hook and got him out way early. Like I think it was like a 15-second knockout or something.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, round 1, 16 seconds.
16-second knockout?
Something like it was really quick.
Right there,
Matt Semmelsberger. Yeah, he it was like a counter or something, and he freaking cleaned him.
Damn.
His clock. So I'm looking for Brian. I want Jason Witt to do good, have a little bit of a comeback performance, but I think Brian's gonna put on the show because I think he came off like stomach surgery or something weird, so he was still probably a little hesitant in there. But after a little bit of more time, I'm sure he's even more comfortable in there to put on a good performance. So I'm pumped for that. And then another guy, Smiling Sam Alvey. Like you always want to see this guy do good because he's fought some really tough guys like Superman Span and Julian Marquez, and he's put up some great performances against these guys despite being like 35 years old. And he's not the most like gifted, like skill-wise, like athletic-wise, but he just stands in there. He can take a punch with the best of them. So like I'm really pumped for him. I really want him to get a dub here, but Kopylov is Roman Kopylov. I mean, like, if your name's Roman Kopylov, you're probably a really good fighter. Like, who? I don't even really. I think I've seen him fight. He lost to Carl Robertson. So, dude, the door is open here.
Yeah,
the door
it
is absolutely open for Sam Alvey. I want him to get a dub so bad. He's so nice. He's like such a nice guy, and he's kind of got screwed over because
I like that. That's his name, Smiley Sam.
Yeah, he puts like a freaking smiley face in his
Hair.
head every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now we'll. Like, there's some other guys like Hana Yaya's good. Cheyenne Boys lost her debut, but she's good. And then Chris Dawkins, this co-main event, that's going to be a really good one. I think Chris Dawkins might get the dub here. Chris and Kyle, like, it must be so sick to have your brother, you and your brother, like, killing it, absolutely. Because Kyle has a fight lined up with Kevin Holland, which is going to be a big one. And then if Chris Dawkins can win this fight right here against Abdurakhmanov.
The only person that could pronounce these names somewhat correctly.
Abdurakhimov.
Okay.
Something like that. I've never seen him fight before because he hasn't fought since the Khabib Poirier fight. I don't think.
Khabib.
Yeah, dude. He hasn't fought since Khabib Poirier, and that was when I was at UP, and I barely watched any fights. So, and he's had a bunch of fights against like Cyril Gane, Augustus Sakai, and then
that all got canceled.
So those are like the best of the best. So
dang.
Yeah, I'm excited for that because I haven't really seen him fight. So it's gonna be interesting. And then obviously the main event. This is the main juice. I mean, both of these guys are really good, but I don't know if they're on the level of the champ right now. Nobody really is. The closest guy is Robert Whittaker, but you can make some really fun fights with these guys. So
I've heard of Uriah Hall, but I've never heard of the other guy,
Sean Strickland.
Yeah,
Sean Strickland. Yeah, not a lot of people know. Probably like casual fans probably know about him because
what's his nickname?
Tarzan.
Oh, maybe I have heard of him then.
But he's really good. He put up a really good performance against Christophe Jacques, who's good. But the one like performance that really stood out to me was when he fought Brendan Allen and I was on the Brendan Allen. I was all in on Brendan. But his jab and his striking just nullified everything Brendan could do. But it was at a catch weight. So maybe cutting those extra 5 pounds, like that's a big deal at 185 pounds. Yeah. So I mean like that obviously was a disadvantage for Brendan because Sean's a big dude in there. Like he was noticeably bigger than, like not noticeably, but he was pretty big compared to Brendan, and Brendan's not a small person. So this is going to be really good. I don't think this is going to go to the ground at all. It's going to come down to who's the better striker in my opinion. And Uriah, like he's so dynamic on the feet, but I don't know. I mean, Uriah probably has a better resume so far in terms of who he's beaten, but Sean Strickland, he's on the rise, dude. So, and either way, like if you lose this fight, it's no biggie. There's a bunch of really good contenders at the middleweight division that you're gonna get a big fight, and if you just keep getting in, if you put together like 2-3 fight win streak, you're right back in the picture.
Yeah,
especially if your name's already up there. So I don't know. I might be sleeping on Uriah Hall a little bit, but I really like Sean Strickland. Like I like his attitude. I like listening to him talk. Like he's kind of like a heel a little bit. And he just says what's on his mind, and that's really, I don't know. He's a fun guy to watch. Like he'll talk crap to you while you're fighting. Like if you're not doing good. I forget what fight it was. It was the, was it like Marshman or something? Yeah, Jack Marshman fight. Like he was talking to him. He's like, Jack, is that all you got? Is that all you got, Jack? But they're like playing around. They're like, they're like having fun, you know. But
are they?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. What is it that you wanted us to react to?
UFC 267 is free. Pay-per-view. Glover Teixeira versus...
Why is it free?
Huh? It's because the timing is all jacked up, which is absolutely sickening because we get a free championship pay-per-view. We get to watch Aljamain Sterling battle Piotr Jan for the 135-pound title, and we get to Glover Teixeira versus Jan Blachowicz for the 205-pound title. So it's because they want it in prime time in the Middle East, and so since the timing, it's like 8 p.m. Eastern. It's like 11 a.m. Eastern in America. So instead of like struggling to get numbers, they're just going to like have it free on ESPN/ESPN Plus, so like everybody can watch it. It's like the first time forever since like UFC 138 or something.
Whoa!
Yeah, so we don't have to pay freaking $70.
And what day is this fight on? What day is this fight on?
This fight. This is October. Let me see. UFC 267. So far it looks like really good. You have
October 30th.
October 30th. Yeah,
it's on a Saturday.
Right. That's how every UFC is.
Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Why I think it was...
Baby, it's been a long
Oh my god. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's on a Saturday.
day. Yeah, but
Literally
the cool
always
thing
on
is you're getting
Saturday.
Hamzat Chimaev on this card versus Li Jingliang.
Lang.
Li Jingliang.
That's
Dude,
so
did
cool.
Brendan Schaub call him Ling Jingling?
Yeah, what the heck?
Jingling. And then
We
you get
always laugh at that guy.
Michael Oleszejczyk, who's really good. He beat Modestas Bukauskas. That's going to be on that card. And then Amanda Hebos is trying to avenge her, get her victory back after losing to Marina Rodriguez. And then she's fighting Verna Jandiroba, who is a good fighter too.
Dang, she looks like a good fighter.
Yeah, she is. Yes, insane. Yeah, that's gonna be absolutely insane. Piotr's gonna get his belt back, and then Jan Blachowicz and Glover Teixeira. That's gonna be something else.
I'm excited to see that. That's like the day before Halloween. That's sick.
Yeah, but that's basically all I have to talk about. It's been a long day. I just wanted to get this thing out there because usually we talk about the fights the next on a Thursday, and it's no one cares about the fights last week. So if we post this maybe on Monday, people care more.
True.
I don't know.
Or on a Tuesday.
Yeah, on a Tuesday.
And also what?
Also, I don't understand this. This has nothing to do with UFC or anything, but there was a trade today. The Giants just got done playing the Pirates. We finally won our last game against them after losing the first two. But they traded their all-star second baseman, Adam Frazier, to the Padres. The Padres got Adam Frazier. Adam Frazier's batting 330 right now. Why are you going to do that?
Why
you
would
already
they
have
do
Jake
that?
Cronenworth, who's an absolute savage, who's an all-star as well. So, unless you're just adding depth, I don't understand that move at all. The Pirates, they're not playing that bad. And Adam Frazier's only 29 years old. They got some prospects for him, but it was just really confusing to me.
It's a bad move on the Padres.
Well, why not go after pitching?
Yeah.
It's great you have another bat. That's fantastic. But you already have an all-star second baseman. And I don't know if Adam Frazier, unless Jay Cronenworth can play third base because I know he has a strong arm. But you already have Manny Machado. And you have Fernando Tatis. So I guess you're just adding depth.
So they should have done a pitcher.
Something. I was just really confused by that because we just got done playing him this whole entire week.
Yeah.
And now we're going to be seeing probably a lot more for the rest of the season. I don't understand, dude. I don't understand, bro. But, okay. Thank you guys for listening.
It's been a fun episode. Ow.
Yes. Time to go to bed.
Look. Ow. Okay.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Later.